Hello. Hi. Welcome to Streams of Collective Consciousness. I'm so excited to have you here on Friday. It's February 7th. And yeah, we're going to be talking about sustainable fashion news, social justice things, and environmentalism. So feel free to grab your tea, your coffee, whatever, and feel free to just like join and learn. I have a lot to cover, a lot of things to, just discuss. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. So let's get into it before I start rambling a bit more. Here's the schedule. Take a look at it as I check my audio. Okay. So the audio is doing well. So basically, as you can see, I usually start the live streams at 6 and then I end around 8. But let's see. That's the schedule for Tuesday. This is the schedule for today. On Tuesdays, the schedule is a bit different. I start later, but if you ever want to jump on Tuesdays, I start at 7 on Tuesdays. But I basically talk about sustainable fashion first, and then I get into like videos and like any memes, community forum submissions. If you ever want to submit something, feel free to submit it here. This Canva deck will be in my description as well, and the forum link will be here. So if you ever want me to talk about something, it will be here in the description. And if you ever want to stalk me, if you ever want to see how to join the community, all those links will be here as well, so feel free. And then, starting off with news, I have recently seen that there is a California Fashion Act that is trying to hold brands to be more environmentally accountable. This just came out, 2 days ago. So we should definitely take a look at that. It's really exciting. I think California has been leading the charge in sustainable fashion, but kind of hesitant to be too excited, especially because of all the LA fires happening. But this article was written by Sourcing Journal, and it basically goes into how, in the face of other sustainable fashion legislation in New York, Massachusetts, Washington, California is also doing their own sort of fashion act, which is a law that was trying to be passed in New York. And the article explains that it's a way to hold brands and retailers accountable, basically, to just make the state more liable for making the changes that we need to do in the industry. I feel silly explaining this because states should take responsibility just in itself to address fast fashion, but they need to be literally forced into taking action. So basically the law is called AB 405, and it's known as the Fashion Environmental Accountability Act. And this was spoken about just this Tuesday, which is again exciting. It's a very developing thing, but the law was inspired from the presidential election and his dismantling of federal environmental protection laws. It's kind of crazy how he called for a national energy emergency when there's a climate emergency. The article also explains how Trump has removed himself from the Paris Climate Agreement, how there's just more desire by President Trump to invest in fossil fuels, so oil and gas, and then just more made in the USA things. And then the Environmental Protection Agency is also being basically gotten rid of. The website, if you look it up, it's not really showing anything anymore. A lot of people were laid back from their environmental justice or environmental related jobs. It doesn't even have to be environmental justice at this point. If you care about nature, if you care about having a job in this, most likely the government has wiped you out. He's downsizing everything, and it's not looking good for sustainable fashion. And this article explains that disposable clothing is designed to be worn a few times and then thrown away, creating a toxic waste that pollutes our environment, Addis said. Additionally, chemicals used to create this fashion can cause real health issues for the workers who make them. Addis cited that the devastating Los Angeles wildfires, whose intensity and unpredictability scientists say were supercharged by a warming planet, 2024 was the hottest year in record, and the global temperature is just rising, which is not good whatsoever. And yeah, it's just such a shame that the federal protections are being just like pushed back for fast fashion, and other regulations are being put for, you know, like fossil fuels and stuff. So Addis, I think she's a legislator. I'm not quite sure who Addis is. I think Assembly member Dawn Addis, who introduced the bill, will basically be championing this, I guess, and champion practices that protect both our planet and its people. So that's exciting that there's like members that just want, you know, sustainable fashion to actually happen in midst of like what's happening with Trump. And California has already passed into law the Responsible Textile Recovery Act, also known as SB 707, which I do have another news article after this talking about that. And basically, if you haven't heard what SB 707 is, it's the nation's first extended producer responsibility bill, which sounds very fancy, but basically it just makes producers and like states responsible of their waste, basically. It sounds so simple when you talk about it, but like for them it's a huge deal because they've never had to be responsible of what they produce. I'm going to check the audio real quick. Okay, so the audio is good, the camera is good. But yeah, that is basically the law. I'm also going to move this up a bit more just because it sounds a bit distant, but that's fine. And then it says by 2026, this SB 707, apparel producers and states will need to establish a producer responsibility organization to create and fund a framework for the management of textile waste and encourage recovery through reuse, repair, and recycling, and discourage disposal. So basically, like, just taking care of your stuff is all that they're ensuring through this law. And it's kind of crazy that there is such a struggle to pass this law because producers will do everything in their power to not reuse, repair, and recycle. So this, oh my god, it sounds so silly. It's like they're doing the basic thing. They're just like doing the bare minimum, okay? But I mean, given the face of like where we're at with our current presidential person, it seems like a lot. Seems like it's gonna be a pain in the A for producers. But I think it's worthwhile for them to feel a little bit of pain in the midst of like all the harm that they're causing. I mean, producers are not the only ones like causing the issues in the fast fashion industry, but they're part of the, you know, global supply chain, and they need to face some sort of repercussions for their actions. If I say so myself, but I'm just a person on the internet. But yeah, I think there's more things happening than I've ever seen before, though, in terms of like sustainable fashion laws. Like, I've seen the New York Fashion Act, which this article also mentioned. It's been a slow-moving process for that one. It's been reintroduced over and over and over again, and it fails to pass. But basically, it would also hold, you know, major brands accountable to fast fashion and their practices. But again, it hasn't passed. It hasn't moved. And voluntary action is like, it's good, but like it's not gonna like create the systemic change that we need. And she even addresses it, or Kathleen, Chief Sustainability Officer and VP of Operations and Reformation, says that voluntary action is simply not enough to push fashion forward, and we've seen consumer demand fluctuate. At REF, we believe regulatory efforts like this are essential for generating timely and systemic change. From due diligence processes to traceability requirements, the Fashion Act puts the responsibility and accountability on brands, which we know will have positive cascading effects throughout the industry. So even like major brands like Reformation are in support of these regulations, but I think it's because they're more sustainability minded compared to like, let's say H&M or like Zara or whatever. So I mean, there's like solidarity from brands for these sort of laws. It's not like every brand is against this. It's just, I think it's gonna, you know, attack Shein and H&M and Zara the most versus like Reformation, who is, I guess, in a way on a route to trying to move towards like ethics and sustainability within their stuff, within the stuff they do. Let's see, what else? Oh, an interesting thing that the article says is that also this Tuesday, New York legislators reintroduced AB 4631, aka the Fashion Sustainability and Social Accountability Bill, to give the bill another lease on life after a previous version didn't reach the state assembly floor in time for a vote. The passage of both state bills, which were broadly aligned, would create a regulatory bulwark. I don't know what that means. What's bulwark? Why are they saying all these complicated words? The average person doesn't understand what bulwark means. Also, my heater's on really hot and I need to turn it off. So let me see how to turn this thing off. Okay. Besides complicated words and overheating in my room, the act will further enforce what Maxine Bidat, executive director of the Think and Do Tank, the New Standard Institute, and also one of the architects for New York's Fashion Act, says that local legislation with planet scanning implications are basically needed, especially when New York is one of the fashion capitals of the world, and then California is the 5th largest economy in the world. And then, I mean, I agree, like, these major states need to do something. It's just they're not doing anything. And it's a shame. It's such a shame. It's such a shame. But yeah, I think the policies and legislation is a good start, obviously. But then it says, if the federal government cannot stay the course in an age where the hallmarks of climate breakdown are becoming increasingly apparent, then it's up to the states to carry the torch. I do hope that state law steps up and helps. I really do. And I think it can come with a lot of support from like local citizens. So I'm excited about that, but I'm worried about the appeal of fossil fuels in the large picture for a lot of people. And then the fires as well in California just makes things pass. I don't think a lot of people are going to be concerned with sustainable fashion amidst the forest fires in California. But, I mean, it is like common sense stuff. It's just within corporate America and like profit-driven goals, common sense is really not common. It's more of a luxury. But I'm optimistic. I'm excited for this act. I think it's just like one more thing to the stockpile of initiatives that we have going on. So we should definitely keep track of AB 405, the Fashion Environmental Accountability Act in California. Exciting news, exciting. Hopefully it works. Hopefully we have good stuff coming from it. Hopefully. Okay, so let's see the audio. Okay, so I saw an exciting little thing where Bill Nye, the science guy, struts down the runway during New York Fashion Week. And I don't know where he walked down into, but this is so exciting. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Fashion show. Wait, where is it? He's walked runways before. Okay, here's this one. New York Fashion Week. Oh my gosh, so exciting. So exciting. Yes, King.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
He was walking the Blue Jacket runway show.
In a viral clip circulating social media, the 69-year-old scientist owns the runway in a Tom Brown look for the 9th annual Blue Jacket runway show, and it's safe to say he is a natural. And while fans of the Science Guy might be surprised to see him strut down the runway, this actually isn't the first time he has walked for New York Fashion Week. Bill first appeared at the annual Blue Jacket runway show in 2017, where he sported a blue floral jacket by Nick Graham with a matching bow tie, paired with a white button-up shirt and black pants. He went on to appear in the 2020 and 2023 fashion show as well. But as for what made Bill want to participate in this walk, well, he has a personal connection to the mission behind the Blue Jacket fashion show. The show is put on by the nonprofit organization Zero Cancer and benefits the Prostate Cancer Foundation, which helps fundraise research for the disease that his father had. As he told Esquire at the 2017 fashion show, "My dad had prostate cancer. So many men get it, but there's a marker, so people think that we'll be able to overcome it. So when I was asked if I wanted to do it, I said heck yes."
Liberty Mutual is all she talks about.
Okay. That's so cool. And he's obviously done like fashion shows before. I feel like he always has a mission with everything he does. Like he's always trying to do something like purposeful. And I think that's just like vibes. Like I want to always do something with purpose. Like always do something with a sense of like this is going to create awareness or like put my values into something. Like he literally put his values in his clothing. And even if it was not his clothing, like he was sending a message for something bigger than himself. So Bill Nye the Science Guy, bringing his values to New York Fashion Week. That's so fun. I feel like he's always like doing some like random stuff. I just don't know what the salute was, but maybe I'm just overthinking it. I think I'm traumatized by like people right now and their salutes. Anyways, I'm not going to talk about that in more detail. But basically, the Copenhagen International Fashion Fair and CFDA revealed that there are going to be 12 brands participating in Sustainable Fashion Showroom during New York Fashion Week. I think it's already happened. I saw this article a couple of days ago. Yeah, February 4th. That's been 3 days. I wonder what this is about. I haven't really heard anything about this, but so the article explains that Copenhagen International Fashion Fair and the Council of Fashion Designers of America will host the second edition of a New York Fashion Week showroom February 10th, so in 3 days, to the 12th at the Plus showroom. What is this supposed to be? So this showroom will feature 2 American designers and 10 Danish designers to redefine fashion through sustainability and prioritizing environmental responsibility, ethical sourcing, and innovative design. So the participating U.S. brands are going to be Age Bubbly. I did not know how to say that. What is this supposed to say? I can't say that. Oh my gosh. In Private Policy, the Danish brands are, I can't say this. What are these? I don't know. Okay, so these brands are going to be in the showroom and they're going to have curated selections of designers that will show contemporary styles and champion eco-conscious production practices. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I'm fixing my lighting here. I think it's good. Sorry about that pause. But it then says the future of fashion is built through strong partnerships, knowledge sharing, close collaborations, and openness across borders, fashion categories, cultures, and genders. Yes, King. This is why I'm truly excited to co-host the Sustainable Showroom once again in New York, together with our friends at CFDA. Or did I say S? Oh my god, it's CFDA. I keep messing up my C's and the S's. But basically, the brands are going to basically take on more responsibilities to support brands to help fuel their businesses. Oh, that's nice. Hey, not the ads. I'm trying to read here. What is it with these things? I'm trying to read. Okay, so Steven, who is the Chief Executive Officer, the CEO of the CFDA, says that we are delighted to build upon the success of our inaugural showroom with Copenhagen International Fashion Fair. Oh my god, that's a long ass title for something. Copenhagen International Fashion Fair. I can't even say it. Copenhagen International Fashion Fair will connect American designers to international markets, essential to the growth and vitality of their businesses. The cultural exchange, skill sharing, and blah 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 combined resources will strengthen this group of creatives. Okay, cool. It's a way to open the industry to the globe and lead a sustainable fashion movement. So what are they doing? They're just showing their dresses? A showroom is where they show their dresses. It's almost like they're putting all the sustainable fashion designers together. And they're like, yeah, this is where you belong right now, and you're going to be connected to the world because of it. Do these designers have access to New York Fashion Week in general, or is it just a showroom? Because imagine if you go to New York, okay, imagine, and then you're just put in the showroom, and that's all you can do. And then they say, oh, it's for you to get connected to the world. Oh my gosh. I would be so pissed. And then they say, well, everyone here does environmental responsibility, ethical sourcing, and innovative design. So we're not really, hating on you. We're actually uplifting you. But I wonder how beneficial it is for them to just be locked in a room. I mean, if they desire to be there, then I can't tell them no. But do they get their own show as well? That's my concern. I would love them to get their own little show. I have never seen the showroom for New York Fashion Week, though. What are they talking about? What is this showroom? Is it called something? I think it's in the title. Oh, okay. No, that's the collaboration. Sustainable Fashion Showroom. It's not called anything, so I can't really Google it. And then I don't know what they did last year. I don't think it's on YouTube, to be honest. Just a room full of sustainable fashion for us to just imagine, because I have no idea what that would look like. They said they did it last year, but I guess if you're in New York for February 10th to the 12th, go to the Plus showroom at 161 Water Street to see 12 designers that have sustainable fashion there. And you will be connected to the world. Because I don't think they'll have their show. Or their own show. I mean, but it's a start. I get it. And I think it's in collaboration with Copenhagen International Fashion Fair. Because New York Fashion Week recently did take notes from Copenhagen Fashion Week by taking their guidelines and fashion requirements under their wing. So I think this is just showing more solidarity between Copenhagen and New York. I wonder how these collaborations even happened in the first place, but it seems like they're very aligned now than ever before, and they want sustainable fashion to happen. It's starting off very slow, very steady, in a very contained and controlled way. So hopefully things get to expand, and hopefully this partnership just becomes more of a thing of its own versus just a room to showcase designers. So, but it's a start. It's the start of the sustainable fashion movement in the New York Fashion Weeks across the world. Okay, so going back to fashion laws, I recently saw this California SB 707 article on everywhere, and it's basically the Responsible Textile Recovery Act. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's exciting. So this really cool article breaks it down. I really hate when laws are just like in its original bill format, if you know what I mean. Like the format's boring. It's super like complex wording. I don't know what I'm looking at, how to interpret it. The introduction is so complicated to understand. I'm just like, this is a lot of work for an average consumer. So I love when like websites just break things down for you, and I'm like, yes, this makes sense. This is just all coming together. Can I move my camera a bit if I can? I can't get it out of the way. Okay, I can't get my camera to move. What is happening? There we go. I'll put it up in the corner like this. Oh, that's better. Okay. But let's get into this article. Da, 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 da. Oh, can you see this? Wait a minute. I hate OBS. OBS is the software I'm using. Okay, let me scoot the website over so you can see it. Okay, there you go. You can see the words now. All right. Right. Okay. So it says SB 707 was introduced in September 2024, and California took a major step towards sustainability with the passage of it, also known as the Responsible Textile Recovery Act of 2024. So it addresses a lot of challenges of excessive waste in the fashion industry. So the bill is specifically targeting textile and apparel waste and is pushing for increased responsibility from clothing and textile producers. Again, producers are like brands like H&M and stuff. And the recycled from recycling clothing initiatives to circularity, this bill forces brands to consider the end-of-life strategies for products. And I think this is important, especially because like brands never really think about where their clothing is going to actually end up. They just kind of like sell it to you and they assume whatever the freak they assume about their clothing. I don't think they care. But this bill would basically force them to be like, hey, let's actually think about what would happen if someone buys this and then they don't want it anymore. Like, it's basically their responsibility to take care of the mess, which I'm excited about. It's like, take care of your stuff, guys. Like, you can't just like make and like not expect anything to happen. But yeah, this is exciting. I feel like more and more brands are just gonna be like bullied into caring about being responsible based on the laws that are coming out. But yeah, it would make clothing and textile producers that sell covered products in California to take the responsibility for the full life cycle of the products. This means free, convenient, and safe collections, transportation, repair, recycling, and otherwise proper management of textiles and apparel when they're no longer wanted or needed. However, individual brands and producers aren't solely responsible for this new set of requirements. The bill calls for the creation of one or more membership-based producer responsibility organizations, or PROs. That is a thing that I think will actually really help accountability happen, because you will see like who's actually stepping up based on who does and doesn't have a PRO or like a producer responsibility organization. It's literally knowing who's being responsible if they have a responsibility organization within their brand, which I think is so funny. And PROs will not only be held accountable for the types of products produced by member brands and organizations, but also provide cradle-to-cradle solutions for all apparel and textile items. let's see, covered in the bill. And this provision is also impossible for one organization to do it alone, and suggests they need a strong collaboration around the apparel, textile, and end-of-life industries. Okay, so if you actually want to be responsible, you have to do a collective, like, team effort-based producer responsibility organization. It's very nerdy. This is very nerdy. But I think it's basically saying that a bill wants to be passed that makes brands accountable what happens to their fashion pieces, and then they have to make these sub-organizations that they have to do with other brands to ensure that they're making the right thing, and it's being, you know, created with this sense of like it'll continue circulating in the fashion industry for as long as possible. I wish people could explain this like more simply. I really wish, but yeah, nerds gotta nerd. Nerds gotta nerd out somewhere. I saw this law would introduce a stewardship program. Basically, it's just like collecting worn out clothing, repairing things, recycling the textiles, and minimizing the waste that's found in California. Yeah, can you imagine if every state did this? This would be just a feat in itself to do. I think I would be proud of the human race if we can finally collect the things that we're disposing of, because we're not doing that right now. And it's kind of crazy to think about, but 150 billion garments are being produced. And then 15 to 45 billion is never reached to consumers. Like, it's just all waste. It's all waste. Do you guys want some ASMR soda? Soda ASMR. But it's just kind of crazy how there's so much like unsold clothing, so much like waste of textiles, so much garments that are just ending up in landfills because we just like throw it away so fast. And then it's just like so harmful because there's all these pollutants and chemicals in it that just damages us and the earth. For what? Oh, what is this for? Oh, okay. Okay, I'm trying to compose myself. But I think we have to remember that fast fashion's like the thing that's bad with all of this. Like, if we keep just making cheap stuff that we just throw away and that's just like trendy, then what are we really doing? Like, do we want a fashion industry that continues that way? So I personally respect these laws because like it gives like that framework, it gives like that sense of accountability, those regulations. It helps us create more circularity ideas and like when we're creating things. But yeah, hopefully like the article says, it'll do like a ripple effect throughout the industry and beyond. Oh, I like how it says the California effect. Oh my god, that was a slurp. I'm sorry. If you heard that, I'm so sorry. But yeah, I think changing the status quo will come from these small bills. But I think, again, we need more circularity, we need more repair, we need more reuse. I don't think all the responsibility should just be on the consumers. I think it should be more on like companies and like systemically what the government's doing to like limit major protection for these major brands. And then the article explains that brands currently work in more traditional linear modalities, and they will need to learn to leverage the expertise, relationships, and experience of ahead of the curve organizations to ensure their products fit into circular systems. I mean, yeah, like they do have a lot of learnings to do. I don't hold them that against them at all. Like they'll need to learn and learn and learn. But time is ticking. The planet is not doing so good. And then the article says it's crucial for companies to understand the entire life cycle of their products, from the moment a garment or textile is created to its end-of-life disposal, and how it would be most effectively or efficiently repurposed. Developing this knowledge may require consulting and partnering with organizations across the end-of-life process, such as sorting, recycling, and remanufacturing. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's like a knowledge gap, but I mean, if they're willing to learn, then I think that's good. If they're wanting to change, I think we should take that on as quickly and as happily as we can, as they want, you know? I mean, can't force them to care. We can't force like major fashion brands to care, but like if they want to and they want to learn, then we should embrace that and not like hold all their past mistakes so seriously. Let's see. Oh, I like this part. It says public education is one of the biggest challenges producers will face to implement the bill. The legislative effort is to create statewide circular apparel systems, ultimately relies on the general population's engagement with stewardship programs. Well, yeah, like we can pass laws, but if no one wants to like give their clothing to collection initiatives, then how are we possibly going to reuse and reduce and recycle? So like producers are at fault for creating so much stuff, but if consumers don't, you know, become part of the solution, if they don't want to like prevent their clothing from ending up in landfills, I think it's going to be damn impossible to avoid them going into landfills. So, I mean, producers, yeah, like we'll need to have to do more outreach, more education, like incentivize people to actually like recycle and reduce. I wonder why we feel so comfortable right now, like just dumping our stuff in dumpsters. I've never really understood it, but I mean, some people just like don't care. They're not thinking about it. Maybe it's just easy to toss it. They don't want to like, I don't know, like drive to the thrift store that's five minutes away, or maybe there's not a nearby thrift store. They don't care. So I don't know. Maybe it's too difficult in their busy life. But I do like how there's like more policies and legislation that incentivizes people to like take that extra step to be like, hey, I should probably like be part of my state's stewardship program, and maybe they can get some sense into it, or like they can benefit somehow with taxes by donating their things. I know some thrift stores give like a tax benefit handout. I don't know what exactly they're called, but a tax write-off when they donate stuff. Let me see what else we can learn from here. Let's see. By embracing the principles of circularity and complying with SP 707, brands can build trust with eco-conscious shoppers, positioning themselves as leaders in the growing movement of sustainable fashion. That's good. I'm excited. For this bill as well. I think collecting more of the textile waste can actually maybe inspire more upcycled collections, more like DIY initiatives. We can have more consumers be part of like the collection process, or create jobs around upcycled fashion, or collecting dead stock of some sort, or reselling dead stock materials. The possibilities could be endless, and the laws could really just make this more mainstream and just like common sense to be like, let's donate actually our clothing to the stewardship collection pile versus throwing them away. But we'll see where it goes. We'll see if it's passed. But there's actually a news bit about this in the SBS San Diego News, which we should see. Wait, wait. Stop. Okay.
Textile waste ending up in landfills is a huge problem. So at the end of 2024 here in California, Senate Bill 707 was signed, which makes manufacturers start to put together a plan to take care of their textiles that are left behind, which is already happening in resale shops like this at Thrifty Threads in Encinitas. SB 707 is focused on giving clothes an extended life and use, which is a big part of why Maddie Hoffman and Elise Parker work at Thrifty Threads.
So I think it's super helpful to not only our environment and like future generations as well as ours, but also making sure that fashion is still something that's unique and it's fun for everyone, and it's not necessarily just like buy and click.
Providing like affordable clothes for people rather than having it end up somewhere that is just going to be wasted or used as, you know, just taking up space in a landfill somewhere. Providing these for people at a cheap, like affordable price so that they can have the latest trends but still feel good about it.
Known as the Responsible Textile Recovery Act, it is requiring certain producers of apparel and textile products to establish a producer responsibility organization that will fund programs in California for reuse, repair, and recycling. The reason for 707 is that it's estimated in 2021, 1.2 million tons of unused textiles were dumped into landfills here in California.
We want people to rethink their use.
Jessica Toth is the executive director at the Solano Center and says that is a huge problem.
When it goes to the landfill, it off-gasses, it's filling up our landfills, that is the textile waste, but in addition, it off-gasses. Any organic material creates methane, which is a very potent greenhouse gas.
Just by their nature, landfills are big polluters with off-gassing, and textiles are quickly rising to the top.
Organic material in the landfill is the third largest emitter of greenhouse gases. And of that, food waste is the largest portion, but the one that's growing at the fastest rate is clothing.
By 2026, the select clothing and textile producers will have to start to have collection stations in place to repurpose their products and extending their usefulness.
And if we don't keep it out of the landfill, again, we're running out of capacity in our landfills and we're creating greenhouse gases.
The Solano Center is showing people how they can make a difference now with the Zero Waste Textile Expo.
There's one coming up in March where we educate people about fast fashion. We have an opportunity for them to work with a seamstress or a sewer to have it fixed if there's a problem. And then also we have a clothing swap.
Last year's event had 83% of the items brought in repurposed. This year it's on March 23rd, and I'll put a link on our web story. Senate Bill 707 goes into full effect in 2028, but you can start to do your part right now by shopping in resale shops like this, Thrifty Threads in Encinitas, and keep that unwanted clothes from ending up in the landfill. Sean Stiles, Earth 8.
Stop letting them increase your rates. I used to let them.
Okay. So that was very interesting to watch. I think I didn't realize it was past already. So I think it's happening already in a couple years, like he was saying, which I'm super excited for. I have personally worked at a thrift store for the past couple of years. I worked in a thrift store for like 3 years, and man, I have seen so much random stuff be donated. It's not even funny. I've seen, you know, like old diaper boxes be donated, and then at first I was like, do they actually have diapers in there? But it can be like miscellaneous things, and I was just like, please let it not be diapers. But I have seen people donate like female, you know, hygiene products. I've seen them donate like shampoos and conditioners. I've seen people donate dirty underwear, dirty pants. You can't assume that people know how to donate, but a lot of people are willing to just like give their stuff to, you know, local thrift stores. And we would get upset sometimes when we would just like throw a lot of it away because it was just like unsellable. But if you ever want to support your local thrift store, consider washing your stuff, folding it, finding things that are like decent to donate, that you think another person could actually use, and go for it, especially if it's a local thrift store that, you know, contributes back to their society. So we'll watch this. But also I want to say that if you can find a local thrift store versus a Goodwill, always go to your local thrift store, no matter if they're like part of a corporate chain of thrift stores across the state or whatever. But it's always better than the monopoly of Goodwill. So this video is about a girl basically advocating for sustainable fashion. Her name is Rana Hattie.
In the quiet charm of Chanoli lies a dreamer. Raised by Jafar Chanoli and Jasmine, Rana Hadi, a Bharat Scout and Guide awardee. She embodies discipline and community spirit. Her hands create magic in the kitchen. Her voice crafts connections with people. With her eyes set on civil service, she carries the aspirations of a village and the hopes of many.
Oh, I forgot something. You know the coat and hat I have? Yes, terracotta, well-functioning, stylish, and the shape is great. However, I don't think I'm exactly keeping up with the trend. So, I need to buy some new things to stay on the top of the trends. When we are busy buying new things every day, have you ever thought about the after effect of the fast fashion? The waste that become part of it, the dumping of waste in different areas, and the issues related to waste management. How are these things made? Are they good for our planet? Who is benefiting from this? Could this money be used something more meaningful? If you haven't thought about it yet, let's start now. What will be happen if 8 billion people in our world adopt this fast fashion lifestyle? Can you imagine? Actually, no, because 8 billion people can't even afford food for one day. So, how can they afford this? That is the truth. And guess what? The 1%, the elite who control the wealth of the world, they produces the fast fashion. The developed countries manufacture these products, and countries like India are the consumers. They make us a part of big capitalist exploitation. Who is affected? The underprivileged sections of the society. The underprivileged sections of the society and the underprivileged countries. They deal with the waste, they deal with the labor and the exploitation. While the profit goes to the capitalists, the elite and the rich. This isn't just about clothes or cosmetics. This isn't just about clothes or cosmetics. It applies on electronic gadgets, vehicles, and single-use products, and everything we buy because we saw an ad for this. What can we do about this? Yes, sustainable fashion. We can't just be armchair activists. This is where we can make a future for ourselves, our future generation, and the less fortunate. Know your necessities. Understand that every ad you see isn't showing something you need. If you have one watch, that works. Don't waste thousands on another. If you have good clothes, don't buy more for the sake of fashion. Choose sustainable options and reusable products. If your gadget is old but still functional, why replace it, repair it, recharge it? Understand that your luxury may be someone else's necessity. Recognize that the space in this world is limited, but the population keeps increasing, but the space doesn't. I know that this coat, this hat, and this dress are fine for me. I'm not going to change them for the sake of fashion or trends, because I know this is done benefiting for anyone. It only comes at a cost. But if I don't change them, I will better for the future, I will better for the earth and for everyone. You realize that we are not only once on this earth. We are not only once on this earth. Everyone deserves a good life. If we can be helping hand for others, let's choose that path the right way. Thank you.
So I think this is a very important video to learn about how we're not alone, and we can learn about sustainable fashion through the youth, especially in India. She's very talented. I think she was a bit nervous. She had a very interesting voice. I wish I could sound like her. She sounded a bit like a cartoon, but in a cool way. I honestly wish I had her voice. I have a very deep voice, and she has a very high-pitched voice. So if we'd ever had a conversation, I think it'd be very interesting to listen back to. But I think more and more youth are recognizing the impact of fast fashion and how we need to address it and move towards sustainable fashion to, like she said, use what we have. Like, we don't need more. And if we buy more and then just get rid of it, then it's like creating waste, and we're not in this world alone. Like, we're all interconnected. We can all be part, of the solution. And you've never heard of this. The talk was done by Face with collaboration of their talk show. And it's basically the first public talk show for students to showcase the country's brightest young minds, to share their ideas, inspire change, and to basically tackle like global challenges through articulate and powerful discourse, and just foster a culture of critical thinking and public engagement among students. And I think fast fashion definitely has a space within critical thinking and like addressing issues, because it's connected to so many other things like labor exploitation, it's connected to agriculture, it's connected to global political affairs, it's connected to how we are, perceived and seen, so psychology, and also philosophy. Like, it's connected to our values and just our deep ideas of like what meaning should be in life by how we dress and style ourselves. So I just found this video like recently. It was like today. It was today, guys. I saw this a couple hours ago and I was like, I need to include it. But yeah, she's very brilliant. I just found her. Her name is Rana Heidi. Yeah, really grateful for her opinion and leadership. And then moving on, I actually saw that there's going to be a slow fashion week at UC, what's it? UC Santa Cruz. UC Santa Cruz. But basically it's going to happen February 10th through the 14th. And it's going to be a new tradition for them. It's going to be part of the sustainability advisor team that's part of the sustainability office. And they actually did this last year as well. And it was led by student sustainability advisor Khalila Hamid. And basically the Slow Fashion Week encourages the reduction of clothing waste and takes a step back from fast fashion industry. Take back a step from the fast fashion industry among the student community, which is super cool. This is the one they did last year. Oh, it's so wholesome. But the goal is to raise awareness about how the fast fashion industry affects the environment and how it often lacks sustainable considerations. So I really love how there's more like college students getting on board, hosting more clothing swaps, just talking about how fashion is connected to the environment. That's super cool to see. And then the Slow Fashion Week is going to run the week of Valentine's Day from February 10th through the 14th. And there is going to be other events as well that's focused on like reducing and reusing. So there's going to be an upcycling workshop at Slugwork Monday at 1 to 4 p.m. This is so cool. If I was a college student at Santa Cruz, UC Santa Cruz, I would be so excited. And then there's going to be a Nature's Dye workshop at the Village Kitchen. That's so cool. And there's going to be a jewelry making workshop and then a campus-wide clothing swap. Oh, this is so fun. I wish I could go. I wish I was a student again, but this is so cool for college students. I think this is like the first step to getting exposed about this topic and like wanting to learn more and stuff. So hopefully that inspires them just to be more sustainable with their choices in general and to continue supporting initiatives to push for a better fashion industry, even if they're not really necessarily studying fashion or they don't really think about this topic too often. It's like a good like primer or beginner to these topics. So nice, so cool. And then another news that I saw is that there is like a technique in getting more life into latex. So I saw this article by CNN and it basically explains how There's a Berlin designer called Gassia who experiments with modern designs and materials to reimagine traditional artisanal crafts. And she was recently awarded the FCG/Vogue Fashion Fund. And then her collections are anticipated in the Berlin Fashion Week. I don't know what this is. Where's the article at? Oh, it's a video. Let's watch the video. Like, where's the
With
article?
Google Workspace, Calendar lets you share your
ad
latest
blocker.
availability. So customers can book
Let me
time on your
cover it
calendar.
up. Okay, ad blocker. Blah, 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 blah. Capitalism. Voila.
It gets more
No.
and more wild.
Where's the volume?
This is the complex.
Guys, I can't. Wait. Let me go back. Okay, let's watch it.
The shape of the latex lace, it gets more and more wild.
This is the complex, eye-catching work of Berlin designer Kasia Kahaska. Having just won the FCG Vogue Fashion Fund, her latest collection was one of the most highly anticipated at Berlin Fashion Week.
Carolina, could you pass me to shoulder poster?
She and her team have taken a modern approach to the time-consuming, centuries-old process of making lace. Her collections make new use of material known more for its rubbery shine than its solid, environmentally friendly qualities.
You know, latex is a liquid material. It's milk from the tree. It's biodegradable, it's sustainable. So we process it in this very natural way. We pour it and really see what comes out of it. That's the most fun part. You know, I would say all the opulent dressing from the 18th century and the 19th century, where people were dressing up, where they were eccentric, close to all the ecstatic parties. That's something that I really like celebrating life and joyful clothing.
Load. There. Well, that's super cool. I didn't know it was like a milk. Ew. I don't want to think about latex. But that's super cool. I think it gives rise to like more 3D design and stuff. It's just, it makes me kind of uncomfortable because I've never heard of this. It's like plastic milk, essentially, right? And they just like maneuver it based on past artisanal craft and skills. Like, is that what I'm getting? Is that what I'm hearing? I'm not sure what is happening. It kind of made me uncomfortable, but like, it's innovation with tradition and they're smashing it together into latex purses. Yeah. Nice. But getting into like a bit more serious news, I saw this interesting article by Strike Magazine called Climate Consciousness, How Gen Z is Redefining Eco-ActivisM. So basically it says that, like any young girl with a penchant for retro culture, I love romanticizing the 60s. Women striding down the street in baby doll dresses and men accompanying them in mop tops. The crackling sound of the zombies coming through on transitor radios as drivers toss their empty McDonald's boxes out of the window and keep driving. For a time ripe with memorable fashion, music, and social revolution, protecting the planet was certainly not at the forefront of everyone's minds. It wasn't until the rise of environmentalism in the 70s and our country's very first Earth Day that this mindset began to change. Littering is a cardinal sin in the 21st century. If I were to toss an empty soda on the sidewalk, I no doubt would meet exasperated glares and side eyes. As members of Gen Z, we were brought up differently with understanding of sustainable practices, online activism, and deep-rooted climate anxiety. We've been aware of the global ecological problems our entire life. After years of doom scrolling and seeing climate clocks, melting ice caps, and wildfires, it would be difficult not to prioritize a more sustainable life. These are the Gen Zs with the eco-anxiety. Do you see yourself in the photo? Because if not, You're right there. You're just covered up by the poster. But I see you. I see you right there. I see you. Okay. It says that some sustainable lifestyle practices we have seen more often in the cultural zeitgeist include thrifting and upcycling, consuming responsible and honest brands upfront about their carbon footprint and labor practices, and ensuring the use of all of our old products before buying new ones. And this is to say that, this is not to say that every member of Gen Z is perfect. I was gonna say, I think Gen Z are perfect. I dare to argue against your point here, but we are perfect. Even popular videos like Project Pan, where individuals use all of their old beauty products before replenishing, showcases an increased effort in living sustainably. According to the World Economic Forum, 3/4 of Gen Z are more likely to shop from sustainable brands rather than big brand names, and are willing to spend more to do so. Altogether, a great way to avoid fast fashion is thrifting and giving older clothes a new life. Yes. Not only are you curbing the rising cost of modern clothing, but vintage goods tend to be higher quality and will last you longer. While all these choices might seem small and mundane, with all of us actively working for a cleaner future, we can and have made a difference in the long run. I love this. I agree, like, we can make a difference. It's just, it doesn't seem like we are in the big scheme of things. And then it says the path to more sustainable and substantial climate legislation can feel challenging because we have less representation due to age. However, this has not stopped Gen Z from utilizing what we know best, the internet. Thanks to social media, many local protests and climate functions have been organized online, and prominent climate activists like Greta Thunberg use their platforms to spread information and encourage people to never stop the fight against climate change. Through the hashtag Fridays for Future, Thunberg was able to mobilize students for a global school strike at local parliaments and city halls for the climate. This hashtag is one of the many examples of how the internet can benefit environmentalism. Some social media platforms might be in a weird spot right now, looking at you, TikTok, but the fight against climate change will not be deterred. There she is, there's the queen. The truth is, climate anxiety can truly feel debilitating at times, especially for the generation who will be around the longest to see its consequences. While coping can be challenging, the key is to focus on the positives of what we have achieved so far. Gen Z have raised a great deal of awareness through social media platforms and organized climate protests and demonstrations. One of Florida's own, Maxwell Frost, the first elected member of U.S. Congress from Gen Z, currently sits on the subcommittee on environment. As I said before, even the most simple day-to-day actions such as recycling or thrifting have larger impacts on the environment when we realize if we're all committed to doing it together. Trends may come and go, but our planet is constant if we treat it right. We have our 60s fashion and music while working towards a greener and healthier world. I wonder why she reminisced on the 60s fashion and music, but that was so wholesome and cute. I love that. There's hope, guys. There's hope. The Gen Zers are coming with their hopes and dreams. And hopefully they do step up. Hopefully we step up. There's still time. But obviously it's very hard when the world is on fire. But I am sure that we care more so than ever before than any other generation. Especially as we face more and more of the consequences of climate change. So it's not like we have a choice in the first place, but it seems like we're generally just more open and honest about where we stand versus any other generation who has benefited from complacency. But again, there has been good people in the past who have been fighting for our causes. And by our causes, I mean all of our causes for the well-being of the planet and for each other. So there's good people out there. There's good people, not just Gen Zs, even though it feels like it sometimes. And it seems like this initiative is for millennials. That was a rough transition. Now these millennials actually do care. So it says Archive raises $30 million to solve fast fashion's pollution problem with online resales. So this article is by TechCrunch, and I'm not sure what Archive is, but this says that, let's see. Oh, Archive is a company that provides software to fashion brands and merchants so they can create resale platforms tailored to each business's wants and needs, including a spot where people can sell used clothes to each other. Ryan Rowe created this in 2021. Nice. I didn't know that online resale softwares existed. What's an online resale software looking like? I have no idea what this is. Okay, we have smart pricing and product feeds, warehouse management. Are they like advertising their business to us? Okay, I asked and they gave and I questioned. Okay, so it says that this is a massive opportunity in the general secondhand market, which is expected to hit $73 billion by 2028. So the secondhand fashion market is expected to hit $73 billion. They're really making money off of fast fashion and the issues around it. I didn't realize they were so profitable. Is it like, okay, what is it? It's like Depop, eBay, ThreadUp. What's the other ones? There's a whole list of them. I don't remember. That share of the fashion industry is only expected to increase. Oh no. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? I can't tell anymore. Especially among young people and anyone else looking for a more eco and budget friendly option. I mean, as long as it's budget friendly, I guess, and like it recirculates clothing in the long run, that's good. But like a lot of people are invested in the resale world just because it gives them money. So I just want to know if their ethics are like true and good, you know? Like, are they doing this because they want money? Or do they want to do this because they actually care, you know? I wonder sometimes. Oh, look at this. Another good sign for the clothing resale industry is growing because of legislation in a number of states that encourages it, like California's new Responsible Textiles Recovery Act, as well as similar legislation in Europe. We just talked about this. See, it's all coming together. Oh my gosh, I sound so monotone today. I'm trying so hard to not sound so monotone, but basically I'm excited about this legislation. Don't get me wrong. Whenever people resell clothing, why do they price it so high? Why is this so expensive? I go on Depop and there's so many cool things and it's $30. That's $30. I don't want to pay $30 for a used thing. Make it cheap. But anyways, let's look at this video that features Arizona Muse, who talks about how she wants to build a sustainable wardrobe. It's a very interesting take that we shall listen to.
I started to question everything. Do I even like this?
Sorry, let me start from the beginning. Adjust volume. Okay. And play.
I started to question everything. Do I even like this? Is this for me? What do I want to be? Who even am I? I'm Arizona Muse, and I am here today with my friends at Imagine 5, and we are going to be talking about all things to do with sustainable fashion, and I'll be taking you through my closet, put some outfits together, and we'll see how it goes. I'm a very unlikely candidate for the life that I have right now, actually. I'm a climate activist and I'm deep in the fashion industry, and I never thought that either of those things would happen to me. I didn't really know what I wanted to be when I was going to grow up. I definitely hadn't considered modeling, and then modeling happened to me. At the beginning, I was just winning and gaining and getting shoots and flights and shows and all of this stuff all the time, so life was very full. I'd gotten used to that. I wasn't getting adrenaline from the wins anymore. I started to question everything. Do I even like this? Is this for me? What do I want to be? I found that I'm really passionate about learning about biodiversity, about climate, and I started to reflect all this learning into the industry that I worked in, fashion. And I realized that, wow, okay, fashion is having a massive impact on our planet. Fashion is one of the biggest polluting sectors after oil and gas. I felt like I was finally learning about the world. We as the fashion industry are deeply and inextricably connected with agriculture. All our clothes are grown in soil for us by farmers. I didn't grow up thinking about that. I didn't say, thank you, farmer, for growing my clothes for me when I got dressed in the morning. What is the biggest thing I could do? How could I have the most impact? It's to work with soil. When you build life back into soil, we give the earth back its ability to sequester carbon, to do healthy water management. Therefore, fashion needs to start supporting soil regeneration. We need to put the billions of dollars behind the fashion industry that goes to sourcing raw materials into regenerative agriculture. This is why I do the work I do now with Dirt Charity, where I'm raising awareness about the people who grow our clothes. When I'm shopping now, I don't want the thing that's like shiny and sparkly and the glamorous fashion item that you'd imagine. I know what sequins do to the planet. I know that these people are not paid properly. I know that if I walk into a shop and I'm like, oh, that's so cheap, what a good deal I'm getting, I can trust that for somebody else, it's a really bad deal. My style has improved a lot since I became more sustainable. I care now more about what I wear. It doesn't feel like a world of denial and less than. It's enriching to live a more sustainable life. So let's go have a look at my wardrobe. I am interested to see what you think about the pieces that I pulled out to show you that all have high criteria of sustainability. Do you like them? Do you think they're fashionable? Let's go have a look. Okay, so we have made it into my closet, and these are the things I wanted to show you. I receive so many compliments when I wear this jumper, which is a really nice feeling, especially when I know the story behind it. This is made by a brand called Herd. This is made of regenerative wool from the UK and dyed with plant dye. Very good for soil. Worms can eat this. Not that I'll be feeding it to my worms anytime soon. I love worms. So this is from Bite Studio, which is a Swedish sustainable brand. I love them. I've had this piece for many years. I like to tie these bits in the back, and I wear it with high-waisted trousers usually, or a high-waisted skirt. And it also has removable sleeves. Don't know where they are right now, but. So this is a piece that's very special to me because I helped to design it. I did a design collaboration with Blase, which is this gorgeous Italian brand who makes blazers like this and their signature pocket style. We did this with an organic wool from Italy that is so nice and stiff and warm and really beautiful. And I made the print as well, which is all cactus. I was born in Tucson, Arizona in the Sonoran Desert, and there are cactus everywhere. And my name kind of evokes cactus, doesn't it? And this is a shirt that I love. I wear this a lot. I usually wear it as an overshirt in the summer. This is very special because it's made of pea silk, which is the kind of silk that no silkworms were harmed in the making of. Normally silkworms get boiled to get the silk cocoon off of them. In pea silk, you cut it open and let the moth fly out, which is nicer for the moth, don't you agree? And this was dyed with plant dye using a very traditional technique. This is a tiny little brand called Delfina. This is a piece that is of leather. These leathers have been vegetable tanned or have been sourced from off-cut pieces that no one was going to use. So I love this. It's a really fashiony piece. You'll see me wear it later. I'll put it on for you. You'll notice that I'm telling you a lot about materials and what these are all made of, because to me that's the story of my closet. And guess what? In your closet is also this big story to unearth about the materials. So read your labels. This is a twin set, you might call it, I suppose. And it's a top, a crop top with a skirt. And I love it. It's all made of linen, and linen is an inherently more sustainable material because linen as a plant isn't so sensitive as cotton. Cotton is like, I'm so thirsty, feed me lots of water. Cotton has to grow in deserts, but takes a lot of water. It's really bad for its environment. So deserts are getting bigger because of cotton growing. Linen doesn't need to be irrigated. It's fine. It's like, I'm okay. It can be cold and rainy. It can be hot and sunny, whatever. I'm good. Now, since you can't try these on, I will try them on for you, okay? So So here I am wearing one of my suits, and I tend to not treat suits like they're fancy. I just wore one to like a wellness festival where everyone else was in yoga clothes and I was wearing a three-piece suit. And I was like, but that's fine, I like it. Otherwise, they just sit in our closet taking up space, and I get a lot of joy from wearing my really nice things. I feel like this is a great wintry but sunny day kind of outfit. And of course, I will put a jacket over it. I love a midi skirt. I think that's really elegant, and it's super comfortable. I mean, this is such a comfortable outfit. I feel like I could do anything in it. I might change my shoes if I were gonna climb a mountain, but here's my next outfit to show you. Wool trousers. They're not organic wool. These aren't my most sustainable trousers, but at least they are 100% wool. When you've got, say, 80% wool, 20% polyester, that fabric won't be ever recycled. It will just always go in the bin. If it's 100% wool, one day maybe it will get recycled. The technology for recycling is very small and minuscule compared to the volume of clothes that need to be recycled, but at least there's a hope. So if you're buying 100% one material, you have a better chance of getting it recycled. So here's a look that I really like because it can go fancy or super casual. So metal on my shoes, a little bit of metal here. All these metal bits kind of really dress it up and elevate it. So if I walked into a fancy restaurant, like I'd actually feel fine. But also I could just go to the supermarket. I wouldn't feel like overdressed. This is also a very good look for me in terms of a good jean and a base. I wear these all the time. And then I can swap in and out loads of different jackets on this. And here's my desert chic vibe. I would wear it to my workspace. I work from a communal workspace. It's very beautiful, and I think I'd look really rather smashing. So, 5 tips to live a much more sustainable life with a much more sustainable wardrobe. Number 1, buy secondhand. The cheat, the easiest cheat. Number 2, read the label of everything that you're buying. Understand what those words mean on the label. What's 68% viscose? What does that mean? Google it, you'll find out. Number 3, swapping, reusing clothes, trading clothes with your friends. That's really fun. Number 4, don't throw clothes in the bin. They need to have many, many, many lives. Hand them down, find someone who loves them, or give them to a charity shop. When you do give them to a charity shop, make sure they're presentable. Charity shops can't keep things that aren't presentable, which means they throw them in the bin. So you're just kind of putting the onus and the blame onto somebody else, but the same thing is happening to the garments. And number 5, be active with your policymakers. Write to them. Tell them that you care about laws that protect the planet from the devastation of the fashion industry. We can make regulations that mean that all the fashion brands have to keep a better, higher sustainability standard.
Nice. I love how there's like more content creators or like people with influence that are starting to think more about this. I'm a bit wary of them just regurgitate, like saying things over and over again that blames too much of the consumer. But she did a mention how we should talk to our policy members or like policy people, legislation, our political leaders, and have them, create more of that change that we need. So this is a good start. It's just we need systemic change. We always need systemic change. Always. Okay, so moving on. I found this so exciting. So there's going to be the next Miss Earth, okay? And there's going to be an eco fashion show. Let's look. So exciting. So it says that Miss Earth Northern Marianas 2024 is inviting island women to get the 2025 title in the pageant. So they have to be at least 18, be a U.S. citizen, over 5'4", natural-born female. Okay, I don't agree with that, but natural-born female and never given birth. Oh, what? Why? And have never married? The heck? Okay. Not okay, but I mean, what? For the International Miss Earth competition, The most recent one took place in Philippines, but now this one will be... What? It says the most recent pageant took place in the Philippines, and then they participated in environmental projects in Cebu and competed in Manila. Interesting. It says that the crown is both challenging and rewarding. Interesting, interesting. And the fashion show is going to be on February 8th, tomorrow. And the evening dress code is Coastal Couture Tides of the Marianas. And the fashion event will showcase designers, companies, and people who prioritize sustainability, ethical production, and environmentally friendly materials. Oh, interesting. I wonder if I can watch it online. Is this like a big thing? I've never heard of this title before. The International Miss Earth competition? I mean, the requirements are a bit like strict. I don't get it, but that's beauty standards for you. America's top environmental beauty pageant. Miss Earth 2024. Let's look at it. I don't think it's this, but I honestly don't think it's this, but I'm interested in learning more of the US one.
Haven of Colorado.
Oh my god, there's just ads everywhere.
Miss Earth USA is a leader, not just her personal life, but in the environmental space as well.
At this point, I've reused so many straws.
I think that pageantry and environmental issues really go together.
Climate change is happening in real time. Every year that passes by, it's just gonna get worse.
The world is on fire and we can't hear it because these plants and animals don't have a voice.
They are beauties for a cause, and that cause is always environmentalism.
I said stop talking. I'm not judging.
We joke that we run on blush, protein bars, hairspray, and no sleep.
The Miss Earth organization uses this pageant system as a tool because, I mean, like sex sells, you know?
It's super, super competitive this year.
We have had some issues of bullying behind the scenes.
We're America.
People are under pressure. They probably didn't eat or even drink water.
These girls might as well have given you a loaded gun.
It can get a little brutal.
Today we are going to talk about something that Miss Day cares about. Starts with an E. What is it?
English.
Not recycling. One of our vocab words? The environment. My name is Sunny Day. I am 27 years old and I am the reigning Miss Oklahoma Earth. What is one thing that we can do differently in our lives to prevent or help climate change? Jesse?
Not throwing clothes in the trash.
Not throwing clothes in the trash.
Reusing the clothes.
Reusing the clothes. Ultimately, what I want to do as the next Miss Earth USA is serve as an educator for children all across the US.
In just 3 weeks, Sunny and 50 other women will take the stage for Miss Earth USA, a week-long environmentally themed beauty pageant in Orlando, Florida.
So my name is Sunny Day, but I do have an alter ego, and my mom named her Stormy Night. And I feel like Stormy Night kind of comes out on stage as my real sassy and fierce side. I am very reserved in this classroom, so getting to be on stage is kind of a source of freedom for me. I am ready to compete for Miss Earth USA. It's kind of bittersweet because I've accepted the fact that this is either my very last pageant because of my age, or it's going to open up big doors and opportunities for a much bigger picture and future for Sunny Day.
Miss Earth USA is the American branch of the International Miss Earth System, one of the big 4 worldwide pageants. Organizers and contestants say Miss Earth is a fun way to spread an increasingly urgent message, and they say it's different from other pageants, more diverse and less toxic in its culture and community. But can pageants ever really be more than beauty contests?
It's okay for some pageants to be a beauty pageant and just be a beauty pageant, but with Miss Earth, we walk the talk. We do the work.
So my platform is called For Our Planet and Our People.
My platform is sustainable fashion,
hunger and malnutrition prevention,
animal rescue,
the promotion and education of STEM in young women.
The winner of Miss Earth USA, first and foremost, she will go represent the United States at the Miss Earth pageant, typically based in the Philippines. She receives over $100,000 in order to facilitate herself to build whatever environmental platform she would like to focus on.
If I were given the Miss Earth USA title, I would want to create a whole team of sustainability advocates and consultants.
Hi, baby. When the birds flirt with you, it's really charming.
My name is Samiha Islam. I am Miss South Dakota Earth USA. I am 27 years old, and I never was involved in any sort of pageantry. I'm usually the background type of person. I volunteer with Safe Haven, the animal sanctuary. These animals, they're like humans.
Oh, Lulu's stuck in a box. Got his head stuck in a box. Silly cat.
We are definitely in a climate crisis right now.
Not every job is to like look pretty, and saving the world isn't gonna be glamorous. It's not.
Pageantry is something that, I don't want to say dying out, but it's something that is not as prevalent as it was in the past. With pageantry and environmental issues coming together, it might be what both of them need.
In some ways, Miss Earth does have a reputation for being different.
So I switched over from Miss USA to Miss Earth USA because I felt like they weren't inclusive.
Especially being $1 on wardrobe alone, Miss Earth contestants often reuse, borrow, or even make their own recycled pieces.
This is the evening gown dress I'm gonna wear. This dress is gonna be 6 years old in June. I designed this dress myself, and this is my prom dress from high school. And there's a slit right here just because I'm a sucker for slits. This dress took like 2.5 months to make. The fabric costed about $125 a yard, and we bought like 7 or 8 yards, I can't really remember. My mom is still on me about giving her money back for that.
My name is Renielle Campbell, and I am your Miss Pennsylvania Earth USA 2022. I am currently a pre-nutrition student here at Temple University, and I am the youngest drill sergeant within the 98th Training Division. My platform is nutrition and military sustainability. A lot of people don't know, but the military, specifically under the Department of Defense, we contribute 5% of CO2 emissions into the atmosphere. If I win, hopefully I do win, I'm not gonna say if, when I do, I will be the first actively serving United States Army soldier to win the title and compete internationally at Miss Earth. My favorite part of nationals has to be the swimwear competition.
In recent years, bathing suit competitions have become the center of criticism, aimed at organizations like Miss America, which dropped its swimwear event in 2018.
I can see why they would probably get rid of swimwear and say that it's anti-feminist, but at the same time, I don't think it's anti-feminist. You gotta have a lot of confidence to go out there and just be.
Okay, it's glitching. Let's see. It's always giving me ads. Okay, let's refresh it. It's giving me a lot of glitches. I think it's just like my Wi-Fi right now, but let's see if it'll work. I refreshed it and by restarting it, so.
If I win, hopefully I do win. I'm not gonna say if, when I do. I will be the first actively serving United States Army soldier to win the title and compete internationally at Miss Earth. My favorite part of nationals has to be the swimwear competition.
In recent years, bathing suit competitions have become the center of criticism, aimed at organizations like Miss America, which dropped its swimwear event in 2018.
I can see why they would probably get rid of swimwear and say that it's...
Okay. It's officially glitching. I think it's just, maybe it's the website. Sometimes I get like copyright striked. Why am I glitching out like this? Glitch, glitch. Hello. Okay, let me continue on. I feel like I'm glitching. Is it the audio? No, it's more than that. It's like everything is glitching. Yeah, I'm definitely glitching. Let's try this again.
It's anti-feminist, but at the same time, I don't think it's anti-feminist. You gotta have a lot of confidence to go out there and just be vulnerable on stage and just a swimsuit and having people judge you.
Women have been protesting beauty pageants for more than half a century. The pageant world has seen waves of scandals and tales of contestants forcing themselves to meet brutal beauty standards. Many pageants have rebranded to focus on scholarships or important political issues, but it's unclear whether pageants can ever shed the shallow, old-fashioned stereotypes.
I do get asked often if pageants are outdated, are they antiquated,
so and oh my gosh.
I don't think so at all. I think that pageants are a beautiful hobby.
It's just another way of saying it's like a community, like any other community we find, whether it's like a chess community or a Dungeons and Dragons community.
The contradictions of today's pageants are especially noticeable with Miss Earth, whose environmental themes are usually associated with progressive politics.
A sunny day, literally in a dress. It is bright yellow. And I think like bright yellow. And I think like 10 pounds.
At least.
I've worn this dress 3 times, actually. I'm gonna turn it around.
Oh no, girl.
My mom is my best friend and my hero. When we moved into Section 8 housing, she still made us feel like we lived in a mansion and we were in a 1-bedroom apartment.
I'm afraid that she's gonna win and I'm not gonna be there. Seriously.
My family can't come, it's too expensive.
It's just too expensive right now around the holidays. It's just not feasible.
Free cookie for life.
Tired of
When they call my name, my big thing is to raise my arms and make a big smile. And then I have my sassy walk forward.
First things first, shoulder up, hands on the waist, foot is out, right foot is out. It is the moment where you show off all your moves, your spins, your turns, everything you've been working for on your body.
All right, give me your affirmations.
I am beautiful, I am sexy, I deserve this, I am a winner. What was that? I am a winner. I'm a winner.
We are working hardest on her walking because she's new to pageants.
Oh, this leg hurts from that.
And hey, beauty is pain.
I have been preparing for Miss Earth mentally, physically, changing my lifestyle.
So my whole system is completely glitching for some reason. I may have to restart completely for the second half of what I have left. Yeah, I'll have to end. See ya. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but it's just glitching out. So I'll see you in a different part 2. Bye.